Yeah, by now I think we can see that in real life, manual interpolating between points would be cumbersome, right? It'd be kind of hard, especially if there are a lot of points, right? So I want to go over how to do this with, like, you know, some software behind you. So where are we? Yeah. Let's do, yeah, there's several of them we can do. Yeah, let's go ahead and do problem P86. Yeah, starting, okay, the problem's actually explained on page 263, but then on 264 is the actual, well, is the figure, right? The image of it and stuff. And so we would, you know, how would you do that? We don't have a file. Oh, maybe we do. We don't, right? So how do we get the data off of that page into like AutoCAD? Or actually, I think what we want to do is use GIS to do this. It's just going to be nicer. Okay, but I've already scanned this, right? And so the first step would be, actually, you could take an image on your phone with it, but that'll distort it, right? A flatbed scanner actually takes images of it as it goes along, as it passes over the image, right? So that removes the distortion that a camera lens would do. So that's actually kind of an important distinction, especially when you start working with drones and things. A drone just basically goes over the land and scans it, right? Over lots of different images, not too much different. So, but it can do other things with that. So let's share screen here. Share screen 2. Okay. I think on the server, I have this image stored. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's in my own H drive and then I'll copy it. Yeah, there we go. Let's copy that. And then we'll take it to our 248 folder in the Gonzo. And I'll just paste it there. Okay. Don't double click on it because it'll open Adobe Fireworks, which takes a long time. But if you right click on it and open with, and then Windows Photo Viewer or something like that. It doesn't even have that. Choose another app. Wow, does Windows not have their own photo thing? Yeah, Photo Viewer. That's the fastest one. Yeah. So here it is, right? All scanned up and cleaned up and stuff. And it's not exactly straight or anything. So there's two ways to approach this. One is start in AutoCAD. And I think that's a good idea. So let's open up AutoCAD.
about
Oh, and for those of you online now, we see Vanessa's on there. Welcome. We're going to start problem 8.6, and I was looking for the file, and in Canvas, I'll go ahead and put the image. Basically, I scanned figure P86 in the book. Log in here. Let's see if it's in here. Okay. Might be under files. Actually, it could be under assignments. Problem 8.6. I don't have it. Nope. Oh, there I do. It's not published yet. Let's see. There it is. You can also just download that file right off of that. Yeah. But you can also go to files and pull it off. But yeah, if you just right click on it and save image as, and then it saves it right to it. So it should be fine that way. Okay. So in AutoCAD, it may take a minute to do that. But once it's downloaded and it's in your downloads folder, you can come to AutoCAD, and under Insert, you can do what, attach, which is kind of a funky way to put it. But the attach tool looks for image files. And we'll go to the Gonzo drive. Not that Gonzo drive, that Gonzo drive. And there it is. And we can specify the scale. I'm not going to specify the scale because I don't know what it is. And we'll put it at 0, 0. That's great. And good enough. Okay, there it is at 0, 0. So the next thing to do is make sure this is scaled and rotated appropriately. It doesn't look like the rotation's off a little bit. So I think I want to scale it first. Maybe you should rotate it first, actually. So I'm going to select it, RO. Now I'm not going to pick this corner as the base point because I don't really have that, but it's really this corner down here I want to pick as the base point. And then I got to have a reference to make it straight. So R for reference. And then reference angle. I zoom in here and just put that sucker right on the center line there. And then go over here right along its center line.
I inserted it. It says scale factor on the first.
Yeah, I would put 0. I mean 1, not 0.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm going to scale it later. And the reason I'm going to scale it is because I have some dimensions here. It looks like the bottom line is 423 feet. Yeah. I don't know what that 0.6 is, but it's not part of it. And then the due north line is 268 feet. So we'll see if we can get that thing to scale now.
Oh, you're rotating right now.
Yeah, I wanted to rotate it first. That way when I scale it'll be good. So I picked that line and then I just cause it to go straight. See how it's tilted to a little clockwise a little bit? So I'll just click. And now the thing is perfectly straight with no error whatsoever. Okay, probably not, but yeah.
The bottom and left and right side.
Yeah, but not the blue frame, right? You want to use your reference line as the actual boundaries of that property, so those X's on the corners. I use the long one too, right? Because if I use the long side, then I can have a little bit more accuracy. I have more leverage, if you will. So looks pretty good so far. The next step would be scaling it, right? We okay this far? Yeah. Oh, and then it says angle 0. See, I unchecked that, so I didn't have to do that. But go ahead and there you go. It's over in the corner. You probably just don't look at this one. We'll zoom it in. How about just Z space E space? Right?
Oh, there.
Oh, there's two of them. Well, maybe not because you know cancel that as well.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it actually does.
Scale.
Yeah, it's time to scale it. Well, after you rotate it, we're going to scale it.
Then you selected it and then rotate it?
Yeah, and you're going to rotate it based on that bottom line or the top line and try to make it horizontal.
Okay.
So you select it, RO space, and then I would pick this bottom left corner, the 601.2, select that corner, get as close as you can, use your crosshairs, get that right on that point as best you can, and then pick R for your reference, and then pretend you're drawing a line along this bottom edge. So you click again on that same place, and then on the right, the lower right, down here, and that's your reference line. And then if you put that at 0, that line will be at 0. You got it, Vanessa? You're right online there?
No. I'm trying to figure out where you're at.
Okay. Did you get the image downloaded though, off of Canvas?
Which one is it?
Did I save that? Yeah.
I was going through the assignment. Oh, 8.6.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're downloading this onto AutoCAD?
Yeah. Well, you're going to download it to your computer, and then you're going to attach it using AutoCAD. So AutoCAD has that attached in the insert ribbon.
Okay.
So yeah, let me know if you have questions as you're doing that. No one's seen Noah today?
Yeah, you go away, son.
Scaling, right? So after the rotate, let's look at scaling. So I select it, SC space. Again, my base point is going to be this line because I want to use that as a reference, right? It's no different really. Okay, it's different, but it's not no different. Anyway, this will be my base point, this right at the crosshair there. And then I'm going to scale this up, but I don't know how much to scale it because I don't really know how much that line is. Now, I measured that bottom line and then divided it. Well, take 423 and divide it by that, and that'd be my scale factor. But AutoCAD does that for you if you just hit R for reference, just like the rotate tool. So R space. And now I draw that line again, right? So I say this line. So I click and click, bottom two corners. And then I just type in what it should be, right? So this is our reference line now. So again, as close as I can to where I clicked before. And it's going to be a little error, but we're good. And then right there. See, that's only 5.8 something, 5.9, 5.8 something. So there. And now it says, okay, new length, right? Well, it's 423. There. Now it's way zoomed in because it blew up, right? So zoom back out. And now all these distances and stuff. So what I want to do is measure like the north line and see how close I am to 268, right? And it, I kind of have to accept what it is because I don't really have a choice. I can't scale it in one direction. You can stretch it, yeah. So we may just stretch it. Okay, so there's the bottom. And put it up, halfway in between here. 272, huh? So it's about 4 feet off. So what if I stretch it by 4 feet? Oh, it's 268. Yeah, it's just 268, and this is 272.6388. So I'm going to stretch it downwards 4 feet, 4.6388. 4.6388. And you can stretch yours. So there we go. Stretch, STR. Select objects. Okay. Space. Base point. I'll just click this corner. And hang on. I don't think I did that right. Let's see. If you do this, maybe you can't stretch an image. I don't think you can. So I think we're stuck. That's okay. Maybe I could scale it one more time here.
Supposed to have the layers, like object and stuff first?
No, not really. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm pretty close to the 423 here. So that's just that's as good as we're gonna get. So we're good. We're good. It'll work. Everybody get it scaled okay, though? Okay. All right. All right then. So at this point, what I want to do is add the points. Pardon me. So if I add all the points that are listed here, they'll be in the correct position. And then I can import them into the GIS to make a contour map out of them with the data. So, and we'll have to add the data in the GIS. Not that we have to, actually. There is a way to insert these points with attributes, and then we can pull out the attributes with a field. But, well, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's add the points first. So again, I'm going to use my measure tool because I'm not sure how big these points should be. But if I measure, from there to there, that's like 7 feet. So if I do P type, set my size to absolute units, and pick 5, I guess it's okay. Then I can add points. I'll start at the lower left corner and just add points here. I might turn my UCS icon off. Okay, makes it a little easier to see what are points. So also keep in mind that
Point size 5?
yeah, it might be a little small, so I may make it bigger later, but I think we'll be able to see it easy enough. Absolute, yeah, absolute size. Absolutely. Oh, I didn't pick one, did I? Dang it. Yeah, that would have been oh, no, I picked this one, I guess. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'll have a circle on it, so it'll be easier to see. If it was just an X and it was just a little bit smaller than the other one, that'd be really tough to see. Okay, and then there are other X's here too, and that's just the barbed wire fence symbol, right? So don't confuse the edges. But there is I think that's what this 0.6 is. It got run over by the 423 due west line. But there was some spot elevation there somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it's supposed to be 423.06. But that would have made the top, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so just add some points here. And I did have my layers just because I had this default template going on, but so I'm just going to start putting points down. There. Space. Just put it at the centers of these things.
Where was it that you scaled it to, CV?
Sorry, you cut out there for a sec. What was your question?
What did you scale it to? The picture?
The bottom line I used as a reference, and because the book says it's 423 feet. So just like you did the rotate, use that bottom line as a reference line. The scale should be used, that bottom line should be used in your scale as a reference line. So when you select the object and do scale, and then it says, okay, what do you want to scale it to? Or a base point. The base point should be this bottom corner. And then
Yeah.
and then there's a reference option. So you hit that and then click on the bottom two corners. Just click and click on the bottom two, left to right. Doesn't matter actually. Actually, it kind of does, because if you pick this as the base point, it should be the first point you click as a reference. So if you click that as your reference, that basically becomes 1, right? And then you type in 423 and it'll scale it to that size. We could have done this completely in ArcGIS, but I think, I'm not sure what I think. It may be easier, it may be a little more cumbersome, but it's kind of the workflow and it's about even.
So what do I put when it says specify new link? Just keep
Yeah.
it at 1 pixel?
No, 423, right?
Oh, okay.
Point, is it just point? No, yeah, 0.0. But yeah, you don't have to put 0.0.
Oh.
So just to be sure, it probably blew up like real big now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just use the measure tool and check it. Make sure you got it right. Measure either the vertical or the horizontal line and see if it matches what the book says. It should be pretty close. It's not going to be exact. There's almost no way to get it exact.
You have a vitamin D? Mom, you have a vitamin D?
Just checking to see if I missed any, but it looks like it's okay. Okay, now I got to start thinking about coordinate systems a little bit. So I'm going to put this into a GIS, but I kind of want to put it where it should go. And that, you know, in this case, the book really doesn't tell you, so we can just make it up. So I'm going to start ArcGIS. We're not done with AutoCAD by any means, but it's probably a good idea to save. Save. Shoot, put it in the wrong place. Well. Okay, so the reason for doing this is I want to set the map coordinate system to our favorite Mexico West. Oh, I didn't put that in the favorites. That's weird. The 2259 New Mexico State Plain. Add to favorites. Okay, it should be in the favorites now. There we go. Okay. So now I can zoom in on New Mexico and put it around Farmington or something. Good enough. Just in here. Here's Crouch Mesa Road. So let's say it's over here. So I'm going to look at my coordinates. Oh, and let's look at the display units feet. And so now I have a northing and easting going on here. And so that's my X and Y coordinates. And I'll just pick some good ones like there. 2,654,733.61. That's my easting. And then my northing, just writing it down on the desk here. On a piece of paper.
All these points on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all these are spot elevations, right? These are like you went around with a level and you just put down, you know, you measured all the elevations basically. So now we're going to put them in a map. So what I want to do is I'm going to take all of them. I'll just take the whole shebang and move it. I'll use this as the base point. And then, okay, here's the problem. That was at 0, 0, right? Oh, actually, I want that point. Let's say I was real specific about it. I wanted this node, this point right here at the 601.2 foot elevation spot there, the corner, the southwest corner of the property or whatever it is. And I want that at the coordinate I just wrote down, right? So I can't just type in specify second point. If I do that, it'll put it from there. It'll be pretty close. But if I type in the hashtag, right, the numbers, the pound sign, and then type in the easting and northing here, the 2,654,733.61, comma, 2,089,237.39. then zoom in on it. Doesn't look like anything's changed, but here's the point. Good. Anyway, here's the position of these points. So that is just what I moved it to. So using the hashtag or the pound sign symbol, you can put that point exactly on there, and all the other ones move relative to it. So now we're in Farmington, right? So we've just put the thing in Farmington. Congratulations, you just moved your house and your land. And the wire fence. And the barn. Okay. All right, so we're going to import these points into our map. So saving AutoCAD again. I can close it. I think I'm done. Close it down, and now in my catalog window in ArcGIS. So Vanessa, you have ArcGIS at home? Did you download and install that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Very good. So in a folder, I have my default location, my home locations folder with a little house on it. And I have nothing in this geodatabase. I'm going to import it into the geodatabase. That CAD file can be imported, or actually just the points. I just want the points in there. So I'm going to right click. Am I getting ahead of anybody? Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, okay. We'll give everybody some time to get the points and, you know, ask questions or whatever. So go ahead and pause. So I'm going to right click on the geodatabase, import feature class, right? A feature class is just a layer, really. Okay. So now I got to remember where I put my CAD file. So the input features, I got to browse for them, click on the folder, and I think I put it, yeah, I think I remember this. I think I remember what I even named it.
Import that EWG as moving.
Yeah. There we go. That was weird. Didn't alphabetize it the way I thought it would. Anyway, open. And then, yeah, the GIS sees an AutoCAD file as a folder of sorts or a container of different types of data. And the point layer is what I want. It's not really a layer. It's not looking at the object layer or anything. It's just looking at the data types, and one of them is point. So I pick the point, and that's our input features. And what do I want to name the output feature class? If you're not sure what it's doing over here, usually it gives you a little information thing, the name, right? Here it is, name. So P86 points, perhaps. Okay. And you see all these output fields? These are all AutoCAD generated fields, and I don't think I need very many of them. So I'm gonna just kind of, let's see, can I highlight more than one? Yeah. So I don't want layer, color, line type, and line type. I'll keep elevation and X and Y coordinates, I think. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, I don't need all this other crap. So Can I take those out? Yeah, that's nice. So there's an X, Y, well, I don't know, external. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Anyway, the X, Y, and Z, and an elevation, which I guess I don't need both, huh? If I have a Z, I don't need elevation. But I'll keep them both, who cares? But I've really knocked it down to a nice manageable setup.
Oh, scale X, Y, Z.
Yeah, we don't need that.
All
You don't really scale points anyway, right?
All you need is X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and elevation if you feel like it. It doesn't even have to be. I do want a field that will store the elevation, which I have to do. So, and then under environments, one other step is the output coordinate system. I'm going to make it at current map, right? So now it's going to have the same coordinate system as the map. Okay, I think we're good. So run it. Should import those points. Let's see. And it should zoom to them. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I did. So I just held the control key or the shift key if you want to select like everything in between the two. But yeah, I select them all and then hit an X, the red X on them, and it takes them all out, all the ones that are selected. So if you hover over like one of them, there's going to be a red X you can click on. That should take care of it. Okay. I'm going to turn off the topographic map and the world hills shade for just so I can see the points better. And if I move my mouse around, I can see the coordinates, and they're definitely commensurate with the coordinates that I used in AutoCAD to put them there. So it's all good. Looks like it's working fine.
Okay, I just got X, Y, Z and run it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, did you change the coordinate system too? In the environments panel, there's kind of some tabs up at the top.
Current map.
Yeah, yeah. And then run it.
Realistic map.
Yeah. The state plane. Okay. So we're almost ready to like make a contour map out of this thing, but
I put all my fence marks on there. Is that okay?
let's delete those because we don't know what their elevations are.
So just click on them.
Yeah, except for the four corner ones because we do know those. So that's what I want to do next is add their actual elevations to the data. So if I go to edit, that's what I want to do next. Are we okay? Did it work so far? All right.
I can see that. Point. Select, rectangle, instruction.
Oh, something about it. Actually, it's just above here. And don't hit that one. So shift click or control. So if you do around the sides. To the left side, and you're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I need to add their elevations, right? So with the select tool and the attributes panel turned on, attributes pane. So in the edit ribbon, you see where it says attributes, kind of in the middle under selection. I click on it and I should see it off to the right now. So if I click a point, there it is. I'll use my elevation here. So I type in 601. And I'm going to check auto apply. So all I have to do is hit enter and it adds it. Now, also what's nice is if I label them with their elevations, I can see which ones I've done. So that might help too. So I'm going to go to labeling real quick here. Let me save that. I'm going to save these edits often, but as long as you save it. So under labeling, I'm going to turn on, I'm going to use the XZ field and label them, right? So there's the point, and it's labeled 601.2. So now I'm just going to go through the map. And it'll start labeling them as I click them. So that's kind of nice. Maybe a little weird to not see, just refer to your.
I put label always as one.
Yeah, so change the field to your Z field, and it shouldn't show any but the ones you typed in, right? So
All over one.
yeah, so change that. Yeah. It's easy to get disoriented a little bit here, so just it'll become apparent if you make a mistake.
You got missing points, how do you go back on? Up there or
Um, no, I would add them here. So yeah, if you're missing a point, don't worry about it for now. We can actually import the image into here and then add the points as needed. I think that might be our better bet. So get what you, type in what you have, and then we'll fix it. Okay. So one other little thing that I wanted to point out is in labeling, sometimes there's a 0.0 and it won't put it there for you unless you tell it to, right? And so there's a couple ways to do it, but in arcade language, I don't really know. So I'm going to use something else. So under the labeling ribbon, under that expression, I'm going to click on the price tag there, the expression price tag. And it'll come down to the label class, and I'm going to change the language from arcade, which is an Esri kind of mostly Python hybrid something or other. Anyway, I'm going to change it to VB script and put format number, and then in parentheses the field, which is in square brackets, and a comma 1. So that tells me, you know, 1 decimal place, right? I could put it at 3 if I wanted, and that puts 3 decimal places at it, right? So this controls the number of decimal places you have on it. And so it's nice to have them all the same number of decimal places, even if it ends in a 0. So it pads it with zeros if you want to do that. So format number, it's camel case. Well, not really. It's capitalized format, capitalized number, 1 word, 2 caps in there. So. Okay. Yeah, so, right. You got it?
find the object ID. No expression there.
Yeah, if you start out with the field being your Z field, then it'll already be there for you. So you just change it to VB script and put format number in front of it, put parentheses around it. Should be good. Okay. Oh. To make this prettier, we would like to draw a boundary around it. Not only that, but that boundary will provide a boundary to generate the contour lines too. So I don't want contour lines going outside that boundary because it might get wacky. All right, so the next step would be to add in my geodatabase. I'm going to make a new feature class. And it'll be a polygon feature class, so I can put that boundary in there. And I don't know, I'll just call it area polygon. I don't need Z values or anything. It's all good. So next.
Boundary. Area.
I don't care what you name it. Banana. Okay. But it is the boundary, right? So, all right. And I don't think we need any other extra fields. This is nice though, if you want to add fields at this point, but I don't see that we need it. You know, no, I don't think so. So next. And the coordinate system, nice. We're gonna pick that one, so that's good. And next, and finish. So this is how you add a layer to your ArcGIS, right? Well, it doesn't really add it for you. You have to drag it into the map. So now that I have banana in the map, I can draw that rectangle around there. So edit, create, click on the layer, banana. And I could pick a rectangle, but I don't know that I rotated it just perfectly. So I'm going to just use a polygon and I'm just going to snap to my points. So I'm just going to click this boundary here and then F2 when I'm done. It'll look like a rectangle, but even if it's a little bit off, it still is the corners that I want. So let's save that. So I saved the edit, not the map, right? So I'm going to save the project also, right? So Control S saves the project. I'm saving edits. And the edits, the only edits I've done really are to not even the points, right? It's just the labeling. The elevations were saved when we saved the edits.
So just hit save.
Yeah, which one though, right?
Save edit,
Yeah, and save the project. Yep. Okay. So I'll clear the selection. So that's nice. We have this, now the field's green. Who cares, right? So now we're ready to build the interpolation field, right? So this is how you do that. We have the elevations in there. So I'm going to go to analysis. I'll click on my toolbox. And we'll go to, I'm just going to find tools and actually, I don't know where it is. I don't even know what it's called. It's probably called interpolation, but I'm going to find it here. If I go down to spatial analyst tools, so I'm in toolboxes, right? Not in favorites, but toolboxes. Scroll down to spatial analyst tools and I scroll down to surface. And that's nice. That's not what I want. Interpolation, there's a whole drawer in the toolbox called interpolation. And yeah, there are a lot of different interpolation tools. Some are good for other types of phenomena, but as far as elevation goes, the interpolation we've been doing anyway is the inverse distance weighted, right? So the first, basically using proportions, right? So if we have 2 points that are very far away and we interpolate between them, well, we need to weight the points, right? So if we have, you know, the 606.8 point, and then, you know, should this point over here affect it as much? Probably not, but the ones around it are going to have the most effect on it. So that's what, so we're going to weight that a little differently. So that's what inverse distance, and it produces an okay map, but it has its drawbacks. But anyway, we're going to do it. We're going to try some other ones like spline and natural neighbor, and we'll see what it does. So first one, inverse distance weighted, it makes the most sense. So I'm going to double click it. The point features, there they are. The Z value, I guess I'll make it Z. And the output raster. Okay, a raster is a pixel-based or cell-based image. Really, it's an image. So I'm building this, I'm going to fill this area up with interpolated points, basically. And each of those points, I can't put a zillion points in there, but I can put a raster image where I have cells, right? Squares, pixels that fill the area that it's supposed to with an elevation. So, and here I can specify the cell size. Now, if right now it's figuring it out for me that, you know, if it's about 1 foot, right? So every foot, so there'd be 423 of them across the bottom and 268 of them across the top to bottom and stuff. So, you know, probably okay. Output raster, we should probably name this something else. How about just IDW elevation, just to shorten it up a little bit. And then we'll try some other ones. So, oh, and I'm going to put a 1 after it because maybe we'll adjust the power. And that's like, so the distance, so basically I take the weight and I divide it by its distance, right? So I take the difference in elevation and I divide that by the distance it is from the point in concern. So what this algorithm is going to do, it's going to pick a point, look at all the points around it, and it's going to weight those points. So this one's a lot closer, so it's going to be closer to this elevation than it is to the other one, right? So if I'm looking at 613, so it looks like 611 and 619, well, it's going to interpolate between there, and those are going to have the highest weights. Now this one over here is not going to be weighted as high. So it's trying to interpolate between that point and that point, or that point and that point. It's not going to get in the way of the other ones. You know how in the other exercises that we did, we didn't want to cross a ridge or whatever? That's kind of what it's doing. It's weighting it and saying, oh, that's too far over there, and these other ones are closer and they're more important, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's how it avoids crossing over itself. It's not perfect at it, as you'll see. Anyway, so I'm going to leave the power at 2. That's the default, but here's the explanation of it, or whatever. So it can be greater than 0, but most reasonable results will be obtained at 0.5 to 3. Variable search radius, obviously that's good. Number of points. So it's going to look at the 12 nearest points around each point. That's plenty. I mean, that's almost half the map. So that'll be all right. Input barrier polyline features. That, oh, it needs to be a polyline. That's actually okay. Or is it? Yeah, I'm going to do a mask. So there's a difference here. The barrier polyline features are like cliffs or ridges and things like that. Those end up being like, you're not supposed to cross those. So that adds another level of accuracy or validity to it or whatever, right? So if you have these things where the contour lines shouldn't just hop over, right? Like cliffs and ridges and streams and things like that, or valleys, that would be what the polylines are for. But if you go to environments, we can actually set up a mask and use my banana layer which is the polygon, as its mask. So anything outside that rectangle, it's not going to interpolate past, right? It's going to chop it off. So that's what I want. And then what? Output coordinate system, same as map. Let's run it and see what it does. Oh, make sure you don't have any points selected, because if you had like 2 points selected, it'll only do those 2 points. And that would be bad. And so it's going to take a little while, because it's going through every point, looking at the 12 points around it, going to the next point, and doing the same thing, and then adjusting each time. It's adjusting what the elevations are in different places. It's pretty cool, huh? How'd you like to do that by hand? Yeah, probably not. So I can't see it. That's because my layer is on, so I'm going to make it hollow. Instead of turning it off, just a black outline. There we go. How about that? That actually turned out all right. Everybody's do okay with that? Still running? Polygon. Yeah. Now you can almost see, well, you can see contours, but I don't, they're at, the green, the edge of the dark green, that's at 572.1691285 feet, right? That's not the contour elevation, those aren't good contours, right? In fact, that's the next thing to look at, is what's our contour interval? Problem 8.6 says, given the survey data shown, draw a contour map using a 5-foot contour interval. Label them and include north orographic scale, plot the drawing, whatever. So, okay, 5 foot, right? That's okay. So I could symbolize it based on that, but it's a lot of work. We can do it. So I don't know how many classes I'm going to need until I look at the highest and lowest numbers. It tells me what they are, 634 to 572. So 572 somewhere down here. 556 is actually the lowest. So 556 all the way up to 630 something, right up here, 633. So if I take the difference there, sorry, Gary, you had a question? Yeah. Close enough. Yeah. Because it's kind of interpolating off the edge of the map. So if you didn't rotate yours exactly the same way I did or whatever, it's going to be a little different. So that's okay. Yeah. So if I take the difference between the lowest and the highest, what is that? What did I say? 80, 77, 76.7 feet. And I divide that by 5, I get about 15. Right, so let's use 16 classes. And then in the symbology, I'm just going to use these breaks at 5-foot intervals, right? So instead of 567, well, I want 560, because that's the first number. So I'm going to type in 560, tab, or actually, and then 565. $570, $575.
No. What's the IDW_EL1? Another feature class too?
Yeah, see? It's actually a raster. With feature classes are typically like points, lines, polygons, right? Not exclusively, but when you build a raster out of it, it's a layer, but it's sort of like a feature class, but it contains the data differently in rows and columns rather than in coordinates, but it also has coordinates. So yeah. So 581. Oh, I've been typing in the wrong value anyway. This is the, I'm kind of tired of this and it's not working so well. It's a lot of work. So, but I don't have to worry about that. I kind of do want to do that though. 560. Oops. Yeah, it's not letting me, oh, because the label, I don't know. So, I have a lot of, I think 625 is going to be our highest one. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, my mental math wasn't as good. Didn't quite make that work. But it's close enough, I guess, for now. Okay, so that's what my contour line should sort of look like. But we're going to actually generate the contour lines themselves. So I'm not that concerned with the actual, prettiness of it, because I'm going to turn that off anyway. I'm going to use the contour line. So with this surface, though, now that I've interpolated over the entire area, I'm going to put the lines in. And so those are just boundaries of color rather than actual lines that we can edit and do whatever, right?
What did you do, 560?
Yeah, I didn't put the number correctly, I guess. So I wouldn't worry about it. It's kind of crappy. I could have picked an equal interval. Can I define interval? Interval size 5. There. Should have done that, huh? It would have picked the number of classes. I wouldn't have had to do the math, right? So there, that's more like it. Yeah. And then that does it for you. Should have thought of that. Anyway. Yeah, that's okay. I think just adds, it doesn't matter because we're going to generate our contours now. So back to the tools, and I'm done with interpolating, and I'm going to go over to surface and contour. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about that right now because it doesn't matter. I mean, it looks okay, but I'm going to be turning that off anyway. So I should expect that my contours should fall in those lines that I see on the map now, but we'll see. So I'm going to choose the contour tool, the input raster is going to be the only one I have in there. So it uses a raster. It uses the values of all the pixels to generate the surface. Yeah, our input raster is our IDW one. And the output feature class is yeah, so I'm going to name it contour 1 because if we try it again, maybe we'll call it contour 2. And then here's where we get to specify the contour interval, which the book says is 5. And the base contour is 0 because we start at sea level, which is 0. And contour, yeah, we don't need contour polygons or shells or anything like that. So maximum vertices per feature, I'm going to leave it blank because it probably has a default. Yeah, there's no problem with that. So, okay, let's environment, output coordinate system again, current map, run it.
The X where I put in the input features.
Where? Yeah. No. Yeah, you're probably in, go back, you can see the back button.
Yeah.
And then in the tools, you should be on the contour tool, not the interpolation tool. Right? Yeah, because you already did, you got your surface already, right? You've already done the interpolation. So that was the hard part, was finding all the points and interpolating between, like all of them, right? How long would that have taken? Like drawing the lines in between them and interpolating them? Like we did on the previous assignments? Yeah, it's still in that spatial analyst, just further down, alphabetized.
Output contour 1.
Yeah. Call it apricot for all I care. But yeah, we may run another one, but I think this is good. Probably don't need to run another one.
So output feature class subtraction and after that is contour 1.
Yeah. So you're putting a line feature class into your geodatabase. Oh, yeah. So where's it right here? So under this, under symbology or appearance, you're probably stretching it. And like this, is this what, okay. That's fine too, actually, it's pretty cool. But if you want to go to classify and then go to, I don't know, defined interval, and interval size 5, then it figures it out for you. And then you can change the color scheme all day long, but you know, there. How about that one? I like that.
Is there a contour interval? Just leave blank or is it 5?
It's 5, right?
And
That's what decides how many lines you draw, right? You could put like 0.1 and have tons of lines.
contour type contour? Next, virtues, that feature. Get one.
Make sure your environment, the output coordinate system is your current map. What else? Interval 5. Yeah, I didn't change anything else but the name and the input, right? And the contour interval, the name, the input, and the coordinate system. Yeah. Oh, really? Well, let's take a look at it. Let's turn on the it looks like it didn't do it. I thought before it was just black and white.
It was, and then
But now it's not. Oh, 0 to 0. See, what happened is it didn't do. So yeah, let's remove that. Back to interpolation. Let's go back to the interpolation. Down there in geoprocessing. All right, let's go toolboxes. Let's go down to and do that. Okay, so your input points, you put on the input points in the map. Z value, did you put it in elevation or the I guess it doesn't matter. Actually, if you pull that list down, for that, let's see. That's now we played a lot with the symbology, but you can skip that. Oh, all right, let's see. That's so that is the
Oh,
it is
no,
those
it's right.
three.
Okay.
So it's done.
Oh,
See?
okay.
Now we go right to contours. So let's go back to the toolbox. And let's go down to surface. So it's under space. The input raster is this down, that one. Interval is 5. And environments. And on your contours, something match up with your colors. Unless you did whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, pretty much. Right. Right. So yeah, that's So I'm going to turn off the colors, right? Now we have our contour lines. So the next thing we would do, so that, that was what we did in AutoCAD, basically. We just drew the splines, right? And then we picked out the ones, the index contours. We separated the index from the intermediate ones, so we can label just those and things like that, right? So how do we do that? Well, let's look at the attribute table of this thing. So we open up the attribute table, and it has the contour. It actually has the elevation of each of those lines, right? So there's not that many of them. There's only 20 that that I need, and let's sort them. Let's sort ascending. And so 5-foot contours, that means what are index ones? If I have a 5-foot contour interval, what are my index contour elevations going to be? If the contour interval is 5 foot, like 560, 565, 570, blah, 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 what is the index elevation? Well, what are the index elevations? We'll start at 0, right? 0 is an index, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? Every fifth one is an index contour, right? 25 is one of them. What about the next? Won't they just be multiples of 25? Right, 25, 50, 75. Okay, so yeah, what are they here? Well, I could do the counting or whatever, but I could also select by attributes. What if I did this? What if I make a new expression? Let's see if we can make this happen. Where the contour is something, well, how about if it's equal to something? Well, okay, I don't want to have to do this, right? Where it's equal to 25, and then I add a clause, and then I say where or actually I put or the contour is equal to 50, right? And then go on, and I cover the entire gamut up to, whatever, right? That would be kind of awful, right? So what if I turn on this SQL here and contour is equal to 25? How about, can I like do some better things with this? Like, I don't know, what if I do, well, change it to contour. How about, what if I do, I don't know if it'll actually work. Modulus, or if it's, I think you have to do, let's see. Contour modulus of 5 is equal to, or 25 is equal to 0. Remember what modulus does? We did that before, right? With the Elio, with the degrees, minutes, and seconds. Remember what we did? Remember what modulus did? It just takes the remainder, okay? So if I divide something by 25 and it has a remainder of 0, isn't that a multiple of 25? That's all I'm doing. Let's see if this works. I don't even know if it'll work, but let's see. It doesn't like the invalid expression. Yeah, I don't know what SQL mod. Okay, so here we go. Gee, it could be mod. So let's see. Oh, it is. Sorry. So yeah, integer expression, contour, and then comma 25. There we go. How about that? So in a lot of times it's a percent thing. Let's just run that and see if it does it. Oh, look at that. There you go. See? 575, 600, 625. Aren't those index contours? Aren't those multiples of 25? Yes, it is. Isn't that cool? I expected some more oohs and ahs, but whatever. So, so big deal, right? So those are here are the index ones. So how do we change them? Like, you know, I want to label them differently or whatever, right? So in the attribute table, I want to add a field and to identify it as a contour, as an index contour. I mean, so I'm gonna go to fields and add a field. They'll stay selected, right? So we're okay. And what am I gonna name it? Field. Okay. And text, probably text.
Was that field?
Yeah. Okay, text, and if you scroll over a little bit, 255, we don't need that many, right? Maybe just 3 for like a yes, or maybe just, I'll put 3 and save. I'll close that. So back in here, now we have this index thing, it's null, right? So check this out. With those selected, if they're not selected, run through that selection again, just run it. It's over there still. I'm going to right click on this and calculate field. And contour 1, index field, Python, doesn't matter. Index is equal to, just put it in quotes. Yes.
When you put your text on read and when you
Save, up at the top, save. And then you can close that tab. Then go back to your attribute table and right click on index and calculate field. And just, I'm going to put yes in quotes. It can be double or single quotes because we're using Python here. So looks like. And run it.
index field and right click on the field.
Right click on index, the field header, right?
Yeah.
And calculate field.
I said field.
Wait, you're in the attribute table, right?
Yeah, the context.
Okay, and you right clicked on the index.
That's what it is.
And then over here, just put yes in quotes. So see how what I wanted to show you in this is that, see how it just populated, it just calculated the ones that were selected. And if you really want to, you know, not have nulls in there, you can switch the selection and just change that to no. How about that? That'll look pretty. So there you go. Yeses and nos. That way, actually, I like that because it allows for different symbologies. So now I can go to symbology here. So let's clear the selection here. There, no difference right now, but let's yeah, let's go to appearance. Oh, I have two things selected. Okay, there we go. Appearance, symbology, unique values. And I'm going to base it on the field is going to be index. So there's yeses and nos. There you go. The nose should be just a, probably not this blue color, but you know, a dark gray and 0.7 points. And the yeses 1.5, right? Because that was, remember when we did that? We calculated how much 0.53 millimeters would be. There.
Symbology,
Yeah.
unique values, or
Yeah. Unique values, meaning we're just going to use index, like nos and yeses, right? So we're going to say all the yeses are this color, just black and thick. The nos are thin and black. Yes, yes. I have contour highlighted, yeah. And then symbology, unique values. And then I chose, well, it's not there anymore, but yeah, I can make sure you're using index, my field, the correct field, right? If you use ID or something, so it's not going to do what you want it to do.
you click on this, send it along, change the color.
Yeah, once you set the unique values, it's going to just give you these random colors based on, you know, the color scheme or whatever. So then in the table of contents, I just click on them each individually and just change their properties. Just go right to properties and finagle. Just kidding. Not finagle. You're legitimately changing the properties of these things. Okay. Well, it's looking better. How about we do the points? Kind of want those dots to be something else. Maybe there's like an X. We looked through this already, huh? Maybe a little cross or something. And if I don't see it in there, maybe under properties, I can shape marker, change it to, I do want shape marker. Yeah, if you click on font, there's a big X there. In fact, there's even these, I like this one the best. These, you know, yeah, that one. And apply. Oh wait, didn't do it. it too small? Okay, probably was just too small. I don't know why that's. Okay, it was just too small. 7 point would be 1/8 of an inch. No, it'd be 1/10 of an inch. 7.2 would actually be 1/10 of an inch. There we go. I don't need a fill color. Yeah, that'll work. So those are my spot elevations. I just used a different symbol, right? I like that little symbol. So, okay. And labeled with the elevations, that's perfect. The only thing I have to do now is label the index lines with an elevation, right? So go back to contour, labeling. Now, I don't want to label, so I'm going to have to use SQL again just to select out the, actually, do I? Yeah. So I'm going to label it with the contour elevation. And I'm just going to use a selection, new expression where index is equal to yes, and apply. Now label them. See, now only the index ones get labeled, but I can hardly tell the difference here between the index contour labels and the spot elevations. So they need to, yeah, if you click on, no, not expression, but the SQL query, where I'm just selecting where index is equal to yes. That way, it only selects, it only labels those. That's what I was after.
SQL?
Yeah, see where it says class 1, SQL?
Yeah.
You click on it and then set up your little clause there where it's just a pull down list. Index is yes.
No, it's not showing up. Little box where else index is this.
Oh, you have to add an expression? Does it say add a clause or something?
And expression compile.
No.
New
Yeah, new expression. Okay. Not quite what I want. How about we put it at European streets? Now it's on the line. And now, as far as the symbol goes, I could put a halo on it. Just a white background.
field is equal to yes, huh? Mine is field, that's right.
Yeah, change it. So I'll change the halo size to 1 or 2, probably just 2. There, and that blocks out. See, now I can tell that it's on the line. That looks better. I think I'm good.
I don't see 600.
So yeah, let's, I have 30 seconds basically. So we can lay out our map and print it, put your name on it, yada, yada. Right? Insert, new layout. We should go landscape on this, I guess. Insert the map frame. We'll figure out the scale now. See, I kind of like this pretty well. Right? So activate it. Zoom. You can even right click and drag to get it there. So I got it pretty close and I'm at 1 to 532. Can I go 500? 1 inch is 500 feet. Will that work? I think it will. So great. That was easy. Okay, and just add your north arrow scale and title bar, title. You can put it all on the bottom if you want. It's pretty good. Okay, and so on and so forth. Save it. Okay, we're out of time, but that's it. You guys know what to do after that, right?